Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, April 28th. How you doing? I wised up and I had a little camera clip thingy-majiggy, and I figured out a different way to hook it up so I don't have to hold it with my hands. Amen. So anyway, it is Tuesday morning. It was my birthday last week. So it was my birthday last Thursday. So I'm in like the very last stretch of my maintenance phase before I start my official diet, my calorie restriction, my contest prep. So last week was my birthday and went out with my in-laws, and of course, went off plan food-wise. I knew this was coming, so I kind of accepted it going into it. So, went off plan food-wise, had a bunch of chocolate cake. It was delicious. And then the very next day, my wife and I went to a friend's house. It's kind of a friend of a friend, an older couple that has turned their backyard into a what do you call this? Oh my God, like a tiki bar oasis, right? They have like a legit bar, like deck bar, open air, like tiki bar in their backyard, but not half-assed, like not like a token tiki bar. Like it's like the real deal with like statues and lights and all kinds of crazy stuff. And he has people over every single Friday night. All you have to do is just walk up to the fence and ring the bell, and he'll open the gate for you and come on in and sit and chill, smoke cigars, drink, watch TV or plays music or whatever. So it's like every Friday night is like a happy hour there. So anyway, long story short, my wife had ordered, the woman across the street has like a bakery side business. So my wife ordered a bunch of cupcakes, and she made a rum cake, which is her first time ever making a rum cake, and it was amazing. So kind of went off the rails on Friday night, returned to my normally scheduled program Saturday and Sunday, and then last night my wife and I went out, just the two of us now, for my birthday dinner, just the two of us, and that was at a place called Warren in Delray. And that was awesome. I had cheeseburger, fries. I had a whole banana cream cheesecake to myself. Anyway, long story short, my body weight's been up all over the place because of all the food and the sodium and bloating and all that stuff. But I definitely clocked in at my heaviest I've been during this entire maintenance phase. Well, really, because my body weight wasn't really moving much either way, because I was so consistently eating the same amount of calories and my body weight was hovering right around the same level. There was no reason for my body weight to move until this past week. And this morning I woke up at 207.8. And I had really been kind of maintaining like right around 200. So that's a lot. That's a lot of bloat. And I imagine I may have gained a little bit of fat, but point is, I have 6 days left of maintenance before I start my diet. So I'm sure in like 3 or 4 days, this bloat will be gone. I'll be back down to somewhere around 200, 201. And then anything I may have possibly gained this week is, after a week of dieting, is going to be gone. And then that's it, man. We'll be doing the work. So I think, like I was talking about in the last video about developing habits, and once your habits are on point, like in my case, going from a maintenance phase now into a diet phase, literally nothing changes with how I shop, how I prep food, how I divide my meals, my meal times, my food choices, my workouts, my walking, my weighing myself. Nothing changes in my life except I just subtly pull out a little bit of calories here and there from different meals. And that's it. So it should be a very seamless transition. And I really shouldn't feel, there should not be like any hunger or any issues for the foreseeable future, because the calories are still, relatively speaking, compared to where I've been in the past and what I was able to maintain my body weight on. Calories are not going to be like objectively that low. Whoa, little accident waiting to happen. Calories not going to be objectively that low. I'm going from 3,200 down to 2,700, roughly. So I shouldn't even really notice it per se, as far as I'm pulling rice out of my later meals, and I'm pulling like a scoop of protein powder out of my morning oatmeal, which that I certainly won't notice, because it's not like I'm chewing it and, it's not really satiating. It's just a scoop of protein powder. Anyway, point is that it should be seamless. So it's just, life goes on and you don't notice it. It's not like all of a sudden I'm taking on tackling some gargantuan like challenge. It's just, life goes on. It just adjusted my calories a little bit. So I'm very much looking forward to that, because I'm looking forward to like making progress like on the scale and seeing like concrete, real changes in how my body looks in the mirror day to day. As much as I really did embrace the challenge of simply maintaining my body weight, because I've always felt like that has always been the hardest thing for me, is maintaining. Like being, what do you call it? Being moderate. Although, maintaining your body weight, I know I'm going off the rails here. Maintaining your body weight and being moderate are not necessarily the same thing. I guess if you were maintaining your body weight while eating flexibly and still socializing plenty and kind of eating a lot of off-menu foods, but like I said, being flexible and still tracking and stuff, I think that's more of the definition of moderate. I was very much super strictly following the same meal plan day in, day out, eating the same stuff, the same volume of stuff at the same time, so that's not really being moderate. But it was effective at maintaining my body weight. So anyway, I still struggle with being moderate. However, I did successfully, up until my birthday shenanigans, I did successfully maintain my body weight right where I wanted it to be. Right, I had been in a calorie restrictive environment. I was maintaining a body weight of 198. And then in a calorie plentiful maintenance type of environment, I was maintaining a body weight of 200. And that 2 pound difference is just some extra glycogen in water. It's definitely not body fat. Spiking your body weight up to 207.8 after several days of eating like an asshole, that might be a little bit body fat gain, but like I said, that'll be gone soon enough. So very much looking forward to starting the diet. Training is going well. Slowly, I went through this in another video, added some ab exercises, added some volume back into my training, and I've been kind of holding steady with that. And I think next week I'll probably bump up the volume yet again. Pump up the volume. I will just like add an extra work set here, add an extra work set here. Just, kind of somewhat approaching where I was at the highest level of volume I was doing, many weeks ago, months ago. And other than that, business-wise, I kind of changed the name of this channel to Home Fit Pros. That is the name of my new in-home personal training business venture, which has not really started yet, other than on paper. I am still working for another company that offers these services to the residents of these some of these neighborhoods, these larger gated communities that have a decently sized clubhouse and fitness room in their clubhouse, and me and a staff of other trainers go into these different neighborhoods and train the residents in their clubhouse. But I am going to start in the area where I live, begin to train people in their homes. So I'm offering a kind of a higher end service to train people in their homes, and focusing more on older adults and seniors, because I believe that they're like an underserved population, and it's also very rewarding to see how they can really change their physicality in, you kind of wouldn't think so in a sense, but they can improve very quickly. And I also find that they work very hard, because they really want to maintain their independence and move better and get out of pain. So they're very serious with their training, so it makes it very rewarding for me. So anyway, I have a website that's already ready to go. I just haven't made it live yet because a buddy, I organized like a photo shoot at my house last week. I think last Wednesday, maybe it was Wednesday, where I kind of rearranged my living room into a little pretend it's somebody else's living room, and I did a bunch of photos spotting my wife and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, pretending I was training them, and the whole thing that you do for website photos. And it was fun. We're all laughing and smiling and all that stuff. But I'm waiting for those photos to be completed, edited and everything, and then I will put them on the website. I'll replace the stock photos on the website with the photos of me and my clients, and then I'll double check everything and go live with that. And then then it always comes down to marketing and developing relationships, and hopefully some word of mouth. So we'll get that going. I'm very excited about that. I think that's kind of the direction I'm going to go. I always resisted in-home training, because I was like, well, how am I going to train somebody? I need a barbell, I need a rack, I need heavy dumbbell, I need all these things. And it's like, you don't. I do if I wanted to train a 20-year-old athlete to become an all-American football player, maybe. But if I'm training a 70-year-old woman who has early onset Parkinson's, you don't need a lot of equipment. There is plenty of things you could do with minimal equipment to challenge someone. Just think of all the body weight exercises that you can do without any equipment whatsoever that are already challenging, especially challenging for someone who is in their 60s, 70s, or even older, who never really did this before and doesn't really understand how to create stability in their body and how to move properly, who doesn't, have any real technique, skills with the different exercises. So there's plenty of progress for them to make with a minimum amount of tools that I would bring in like a duffel bag. So anyway, I am babbling, man. So I'm going to sign off. I'm feeling like a bloated pig this morning, but 6 more days of being 6 more days of being in maintenance mode, and then I start dieting, and then I start seeing the results that I want to see on the scale, in the mirror, and at some point in the near future, I suppose I'll start kind of posting more gym video type stuff and pictures to show my progress as I move from roughly, if I'm still 10.5% body fat, somewhere around that range, down to, we'll see, but definitely this, I feel like this is the time. This is the time for me to like really go for it. If I'm gonna go for it again, I feel like I'm gonna kind of blow through that 8%, and I would love to see eventually, I know I've said it before, like a 5-point-something%. But I know that's going to be, first of all, it's going to be insane to see myself at that low of a body weight, because although I wasn't happy with the way I looked on stage when I competed the last time because I fucked up my peak week, there were plenty of days at home like leading up to that when I was very dry looking, and I just had, like, you can't see it in the pictures that I took from the stage, and you could kind of see it on like some of the, like, the upper body pictures that I posted on my Instagram when I was like very flat. But like when you see me in person, when I was like 8%, or maybe I had ticked under 8%, even at that body fat for me, like my chest, my shoulders, my arms, my stomach, and like I was very, like, lots of veins, like very grainy and veiny, and like I can't imagine having another several or more less pounds of fat on my body. I'm gonna look sick. So that's what's motivating me to try and hit a new personal record of lower body fat levels. But anyway, I'm almost at my destination. Hope everybody has a great week. Thanks for listening to me babble. I'll talk to you soon.